Minor things. If you take up major time to do minor things, I'm telling you, you'll be behind the curve constantly. Here's what we learn in sales training. What's major time and what's minor time? Here's minor time, thinking about prospects. Here's minor time, making lists of prospects. Here's minor time, keeping books on prospects. Here's minor time, going to see the prospect. Here's minor time, evaluating the prospect after you've been there. That's all minor time. Here's major time, in the presence of the prospect. That's major time. And if you took a look, if you're in sales and you took a look at a week, you'd say, my gosh, I'm spending 90% of my time on the minor stuff and so little time on the major stuff in the presence of. How many hours in the presence of in my day? How many hours in the presence of during my sales week? Because the time that really counts is in the presence of. Majors and minors. Here's another key time management essential. Don't mistake movement for achievement. It's easy to get faked out by being busy. Guy comes home at night all exhausted, falls in the chair and says, oh, I've been going. Here's the big question. Doing what? It's not the going. Some people are going, and they're doing figure eights. Their progress is small. So don't mistake movement for achievement. Here's another one in sales we learned. Don't mistake courtesy for consent. If somebody's pleasant and they nod, you say, oh, they're going to buy. No, they're courteous. You can't mistake courtesy for consent. Now, here's a big one, concentration. I had to learn this. All those years ago, I'm in the shower trying to compose a letter. Found it turns out to be a strange letter. So here's what I learned to do. Save the work till you get to the office. Save the work till you get to the work. Don't try to get to the office on the way to work. On the way to work, enjoy the way. In the shower, enjoy the shower. Then go to work when you get to work. I found this to be helpful. Concentration. Here's another big one. Learn to say no. I'm telling you, in such a social society we have now, it's so easy to try to be a nice person, saying yes to everything. Find yourself overloaded. Now you got to call and make the, well, gosh, all the time it takes to back out of something that you said yes to too quickly. Here's what might be better. I don't think so, but if that changes, I'll call you. Little things you can use not to overcommit yourself. My friend Ron Reynolds says, don't let your mouth overload your back. It's a good one. Now, here's a big one on time management. When you work. When you play. Don't mix the two. Don't work and play. I used to take my family to the beach and I would bring my briefcase. I learned not to do that. Or at the beach, I'm saying I should be at the office. Now my family's upset because I'm at the beach and I'm thinking office. Now when I'm at the office, I'm thinking what? I got to get my family to the beach. So things are not going too well at the office because I'm thinking beach, and things are not going too well at the beach because I'm thinking office. Here's what I learned to do. At the beach, be at the beach. At the office, be at the office. When you work. When you play. Don't mix the two. Don't work at play. Now, here's one of the most important ones. Don't play at work. Work is too serious. You don't want the reputation of being the office joker. It's not a good one. Yes, there's time for some pleasant stories. Yes, there's time for a little humor. Yes, best if it's a happy office, of course. But I'm telling you, you got to be serious about work because you're parting with a piece of your life for the work you do. Your work costs you a piece of your life. Here's what it's called. Serious business. Not grim, not unhappy, but serious. Key. Don't play at work. The old expression, I don't think we use it anymore, horse around at the office. Play around, play jokes, play tricks. No place, not at the workplace. At the beach, yes. At the bar, yes. Somewhere else, not work. You got to treat work with all due conservative passion, because it's leading you to your future. Here's another key phrase: all work is good. You may not like your job, but if it's the stepping stones to get you to where you want to go, you got to appreciate your job. You don't have to have a passion for your job. Here's the ultimate passion: a passion for incredible success in every department of my life. That's the passion. But don't look down on some menial job you have to do to finally get you to where you want to go. No job is menial. No job is not, no, every job is noble. Training life for pay, making a contribution to society. Next, analyze how you are. And if you have some weaknesses, if you can't, doesn't seem like you can change, here's the key: get it covered. I used to keep promising.
All right, guys, enjoy this Jim Rohn a little bit more. We'll get started in a few minutes. Just give some people some extra time. I find that, waiting till like 12:10, 12:15 is a good time. People start to flood in right around now. So we'll get started in a couple minutes. Just waiting for a few more people, and hope everybody's having a great day.
If I keep the books. Finally, I gave that up. And back then, it only took me an extra $50-$60 a month for some accountant to keep the books. I said, no, I'm going to save the $50. You can't believe what I started losing in productivity because I tried to save the $50. So the key is, a lot of the time you can stay like you are, but just make sure you get it covered. Okay. Next, beware of the telephone and all other systems of communication, especially the telephone at home and systems of communication at home. And here's one of the best lines I've got for you for the weekend: let all communication systems serve you, but don't let them intrude.
All right. There we go. How's everybody doing? Big smiles, big smiles. Happy Friday. Happy St. Patty's Day. It's my feast day. I call it my second birthday because why not celebrate yourself again? You know, it's a great day. Beautiful, beautiful day outside. Starting to warm up, which is really nice. We didn't really get much snow this winter, at least in Philly. So for me, it's like if it's not cold enough to snow, I want it to be warm. It's just doesn't really make sense to me to have cold weather without snow. So I'm pretty excited that it's warming up. I hope that everybody has had a great week. Unfortunately, my sister is putting down her dog right now. Their appointment was at noon. So say some prayers up for that. For Bailey, she's a little morky. I think she was like 12, 13 years old. Just had some kidney failure, and she's been in a diaper for about a year. So it's an end to a struggle. So I think she's at peace now. But yeah, say some prayers, give your furry friend some love for me. River's doing peachy. He's just sleeping over there. So he's doing good. But yeah, so last week we talked about nutrition and fitness. What to eat, what not to eat, what's really good in terms of proteins, eating organic, having a 40% raw diet, which basically just means like salads and fruit, uncooked veggies, uncooked fruits, uncooked produce. Really, really important to get that because your nutrients come from raw veggies. Once you cook your veggies, you basically steam off all the nutrients, either into the air, or it just goes into the water that you've boiled, or it just gets cooked off. You lose like 50% sometimes, sometimes even more, especially if you're adding like salt and seasonings and butter and other fattening stuff. We need to have those raw veggies. And so that's really important. But today, what we're going to talk about is high vibrational fuels. So things that will fuel high vibrational thoughts, feelings, emotions, attention, focus, everything that really comes into play after getting your fitness down, getting your nutrition down. This is like the next layer, the next step, adding these few changes to your routines, um, adding some supplements um, or just activities that are high vibrational. And I feel like it's hard for people, especially when they're so focused on old paradigms, old ways of thinking, stressful ways of thinking, like all day long. It's hard to figure out where to begin. And so these are really good activities that I started doing that just helped so much. The first thing I started doing was the first thing I started doing was intermittent fasting. Um, and I didn't realize I was doing this already. I I spent most of my college or most of school for art for grad school. I spent most of that time doing intermittent fasting like during the day, and I didn't realize that's why I was so productive. Was because I wasn't eating. I wasn't slowing myself down by eating unhealthy foods or overeating in the morning, or just kind of giving yourself a reason to be lazy. Like when I overeat, when I eat a big breakfast, I kind of don't really want to do anything the rest of the day. And so it really just slows you down. A lot of times people are overeating. It's not so much that you need to eat healthy. You also just need to make sure that you're not overeating. Um, a good thing to do for that is I don't really do three big meals anymore. I typically, when I'm not on days that I'm not fasting, I'm eating small meals all throughout the day. I'll eat a few pieces of chicken. I'll eat an apple with peanut butter. I'll have some veggies and chicken for dinner. And like that'll be like a solid dinner for me. But I'm not going to ever have, regularly eating like, a huge bowl of pasta or, having like a three-course meal where you're having like, salad, you're having mashed potatoes, you're having like all of these filler foods. I wipe all of them out of my diet. When I'm really getting into high vibrational feelings, and what really worked for me was sticking to a protein, veggie, and fruit diet. So cutting out carbs, cutting out sugars, cutting out starches, random carbs that are just unnecessary, like pasta and potatoes and um, and breads, and like maybe cutting down on cheeses, stuff like that. But it's not. I wouldn't be scared. It's okay. It's not something to be fearful about, because what really helped for me was having doing this 5 days a week and then having 2 days where I can cheat. Or what really worked was having one day where I'm allowed to eat anything I want. Like, doesn't matter. I could house 4,000 calories and I would be okay with that because I spend the rest of my week eating so healthily. Um, what I would first do is to start out fasting one day a week. And it's not, you're not fasting 24 hours. Okay. The best way to start is to do like a 16-8 method, where you eat light meals for 8 hours out of the day. And then 16 hours out of the day, you're not eating or drinking anything besides water or coffee, um, or, low calorie things. Like I saw that I think almond milk doesn't break fasting, stuff like that, like little things that don't really have much calories in them. The idea is that the fasting, what it does is it causes your body to use their fat stores. And um if you eat anything with sugar, calories, anything, that is going to start your insulin developing in your body. So anytime you put in sugar in your body reacts to that. It produces insulin, and it starts to digest what you've just ingested, right? But if you refrain from eating, your body needs to take energy from somewhere. And so if you're not bringing in sugars, if you're not bringing in food, your body is not going to try and break down anything in your stomach because it's not there. So what they're going to do is your body is now going to use the calories that are stored in your fat stores, and that's how you really start to like wipe away your belly fat, wipe away your leg fat, all the rolls and all that stuff, all that extra weight starts to just diminish when you start to really fast on a regular basis. Like I got to a point where I was fasting like 3 4 days a week. Like Robin Sharma says that he fasts 4 days a week, and my fasts, when I fast, I typically am going 20 24 methods. So I eat 4 hours out of the day and I fast for 20. I find what really works is eating before bed and fasting all throughout the day. Because I cannot, I have a really hard time sleeping if I'm hungry. And I know that's with a lot of people as well. And so that's what I would suggest, is to make sure that you have that meal before you go to sleep, like a couple hours before you go to bed. Like I would eat from, I think I was eating from like 4 to 8 p.m. Um, and I would fast, from 8 p.m. until 4 p.m. the following day. And it really helps. Like, and I'm still like, when I'm doing that, like, and I'm fasting, I'm still working out, I'm still running, I'm still doing all of those things, because what you want to do is you want to be in calorie deficiency. So you want to be in a position where you're burning more calories than you're intaking. And that's why fasting is so helpful. But fasting isn't a replacement for working out. It's not a replacement for running or any sort of physical activity. It has to do hand in hand, because the idea is that you either fast and you probably will just not gain weight, right? But if you fast and work out, then you're compounding that positivity. You're wiping away the calories, you're eating less calories, and then you burn like twice as much, because you're burning the calories in your fat stores and not the calories that you've just ingested in your in your last meal. And that's another thing that I was saying, why cardio you got to do more than just cardio. You got to do weightlifting as well, because if you were to go for a 3 mile run and then maybe you eat like a potato salad afterwards, or whatever. I would eat chicken after a run, but basically all that calorie is just going to go filling back into your bloodstream. And what happens is, when you're just doing cardio, it takes it takes all the fat and calories out of your bloodstream first, and then your next meal just replaces that back in there. So understanding that it's also a good thing to kind of run in the morning and then have the whole day where your body is working on that metabolism that you've developed just from running in the morning, and it speeds up the metabolism. You start to digest more, you start to digest faster. And if you don't eat directly after you're running, then your fat stores in your bloodstream will just be replaced by the fat stores in your body. And so really starting to think about these things is really, really important. um Yeah, that happens to me too. Like, and that's honestly only happens to me when I eat like right before I go to sleep. Like a lot of the times I find myself going to bed with an apple and a jar of peanut butter. And if I eat that right before I fall asleep, I wake up more hungry than I would have if I didn't eat that right before bed. But if I were to, let's say, eat and then not fall asleep for like an hour or two, maybe I eat the apple, you know, at my desk while I'm still doing work or while I'm relaxing, and then I go to bed. That is really helpful. So giving yourself like a 2 hour break between your last meal and actually falling asleep. So that's a really good thing to do. Um, and when I was fasting 20 hours out of the day, I would be going to bed. Like, I would eat 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. in Montana and then go to bed by like 8 p.m. So it was like 8 p.m. your guys' time. Um, so I really did have that 2 hour break before going back to sleep or going to bed. And that really, really helped because then I wouldn't wake up hungry. Um, Other things that really help is if you wake up hungry, coffee is a really good option. Tea is probably better. Um, I even if I fast, like I'm told that I'm breaking my fast by doing this, but I like to drink kombucha as well because that just really helps as it's like a probiotic. It helps with gut health. It helps with weight loss. It's really, really helpful for that as well. So I find that that is something that I like to supplement in my diets as well as having kombucha a few days a week or like every other week. It doesn't it's a definitely an acquired taste. Most people don't like it. I absolutely hated it when I first drank it because it literally tastes like moldy. It kind of tastes a little off because it has bacteria in it, but it's live bacteria, it's healthy bacterias, and that's what you really need because your gut is full of, I think it's 10 billion to 10 trillion um different forms of bacteria. And so if you're not flushing out the bad bacteria, it's just going to create disease. And disease a lot of the time starts in the gut. And so making sure that you're really cleansing that gut is really, really helpful. You actually feel better. You don't want to overdo it. If you haven't had kombucha before, I would suggest 4 ounces a day for like a week, and just mind how you feel, because it can cause some upset stomach, like runny bowel movements, stuff like that. So just be careful with how much you intake, especially just starting out. Um, let's see. Yeah, another thing with fasting, you just have more energy. I find that I don't need as much. The less I eat, the less sleep I need. Um, and then you're not like taking breaks to eat, right? You can literally just go, 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 go because if you're not eating, you're not slowing yourself down. And if you're not eating, you're also not needing to go to the bathroom as much. I mean, obviously, you're going to be drinking more water than you would have otherwise. Like, you really need, like, hydration is so important when you're fasting. You have to drink water. Like, I drink at least a gallon of water a day, but if I'm fasting, I wake up and I drink like at least 64 to 86 ounces of water right when I wake up. And I do that anyway, like having having 3 glasses of water right when you wake up every morning is actually a technique that the Japanese models use. And it's like an ancient Japanese technique to drink water right when you wake up because it helps with complexion. It helps with softening your skin, softening your features, having less pimples. It helps with weight loss. Anytime you eat meals, if you're looking to lose weight, always drink 8 ounces of water before you eat anything, because starting with water allows the food itself to digest more easily because it doesn't get stuck in all the intestines. If you have that moisture, it softens everything up in your body and everything kind of your metabolism really speeds up. So drinking water before you have any meals, drinking 3 glasses of water in the morning is really, really key. Um, yeah, I said salads are really important for raw diets. Like a salad a day keeps the doctor away. Same with an apple. Like that, the apple a day keeps the doctor away. Like that's like the most truest statement that like has ever been said. Like it's one of those sayings that is actually true, like 100% true. It's so like apples are so good for you. I eat an apple every single day, and I haven't been sick in I don't even know how many years. I was sick for 12 hours one day a couple of years ago, but besides that, I haven't been sick in like 8 years. And I eat an apple every day, and I follow all of these things. Fasting is really good for health as well. It helps you. It fights disease because fasting is also a form of detoxing. So it detoxes your body as well. There's so many health benefits for it, and it's kind of crazy. Um, Another thing is whole food supplements. This is the one that I use. It's backwards, obviously, but I'm gonna um, Nature's Plus, and you can buy this at any like Whole Food store. So like Whole Foods, any organic stores. Where else did I find it? Um, and you can buy them online too. You could probably get them cheaper online. But this is Nature's Plus Source of Life multivitamin with whole food concentrates. So basically, it's like it's not, I'm not talking about whole food, like Whole Food the store. It's whole food concentrate. So it's actually um, the nutrients that come from things like carrots and broccoli and all that stuff. All those nutrients that you can get by eating those, they're actually concentrated, put into a concentrated form, and placed into a pill. So you're really eating veggies and fruit pills basically. So it's really, really helpful as a supplement with whole food concentrates called whole food supplements. Yeah, it's funny because I went to an organic store and I was asking the lady that worked there. I was like, "Hey, do you guys have whole food supplements?" They're like, "Whole Foods? You think we have Whole Foods here?" It's like, "No, no, not the store Whole Foods, like whole food supplement." She like was so confused, like, "You're not in Whole Foods right now. Like, what are you talking about?" Um, but yeah, it was funny. Um, okay, other things are really helpful. What do we got? We got that. Okay. Other things that are in like Your Wish is Your Command by Kevin Trudeau. He talks about getting a rebounder, a mini trampoline. I got one and it really helps. Like I just like it's like you're a kid. You're just jumping on the trampoline, having so much fun. It honestly is one of those things that raises your vibration because um it's moving your body in a much different way than you're used to. Um and it's also just like the energy of like jumping up and then becoming weightless and then coming back down. It makes people happy. It cures depression, has all these mental health benefits just for doing that. And it's also kind of a workout. I honestly left my mini trampoline in Montana. I want to get a real trampoline because I grew up, my one of my best friends, or my best friend had a big trampoline, and we would just play on that thing for hours. Like I missed, like it was always so much fun. Like I know, like if I were to get a trampoline, I would use that thing like every day. Um, so things like mini trampolines are really helpful. They got these things called vibration plates, and that will literally send positive vibrations through your body from the plates. You basically stand on the plate, and it vibrates, and then it vibrates your whole body, and it causes your body to enter into that high vibrational state. Really, really cool stuff. I've never used one, but that's what Kevin Trudeau tells us to do. It's an expensive thing, so that's why I went the mini trampoline because they're like $40, whereas the vibration plate's like 150. Or another thing is the inversion table, which basically is like a table where it can rotate. So, you lay down on it and then the table actually inverts. So let's say your feet are here and your head's here. You're going to be able to flip back and flip yourself upside down. And what that does is I forget exactly what it does, but it kind of but it does the same thing. It just makes you feel good. There's some science behind it. I don't really quite understand. Um, but I think it probably has to do with like your heart being below the rest of your body. So like the flow of energy is different. So it's kind of just switching everything up for you. Really, really good stuff. Let's see, EMF protectors or blockers. So you can buy these. I know there's like a black stone that is like a natural version of this, but buying protectors or EMF blockers for your phone, you can like get stickers to put on your phone, on your laptop. You can have like things that plug in the wall. And what it does is it lowers the so there's radiation that is going all throughout every single room, every single place, because we have Wi-Fi, because we have these frequencies that are outside and around us that we can't see, but they're there, and they affect our vibration. They affect our ability to send out signals. And so, if we are, if we're, let's say, if we're vibrating really high, we're vibrating really high, right? But then we have a laptop next to us, we got our phone next to us, we got our Wi-Fi box, we got our router, we got like all these consoles, and we got Bluetooth headphones, and we got Bluetooth speakers. We got all these things that affect our vibration, whether we know it or not. And I realized this simply by testing it out by sleeping without my laptop and without my phone in my room. I found that I was sleeping a lot better. I was able to dream a lot more clearly. I was able to focus my dreams a lot more. I was actually able to lucid dream a little bit. But the thing is that you just need to get all that technology out of your space when you're sleeping. It really, really helps with sleep and insomnia. There's proof that this is fact too. So if you don't have the money for these EMF protectors, that's a good option for right now. And that's kind of what I'm doing at the moment. I'm saving money. I'm not really working. So I'm trying to find cheaper ways to do the same thing that is being suggested. And really, really good stuff. So, what's really important is that we understand that everything is energy. Okay. The only reason we can see this is because it is matter. It is energy forces colliding together to create this form, right? So if everything is energy, then everything we put in our bodies is either going to be positive energy or it's going to be negative energy. And it's going to affect our vibration by what the chemical makeup is of the thing we are ingesting. And so let's say I eat an apple, right? If I eat an apple, it's got natural sugars, it is full of water, it's got nutrients, fiber, it tastes delicious, it's sweet and tangy in all the right ways. And the experience of eating it is so great because it's so crunchy. And if you have it in the fridge, it's cold, it's refreshing. And a lot of the things when it comes to positive energy that you get from food is because of the texture that the food is. And so like an apple is really good energy. It's really positive energy. But like things like McDonald's French fries, see, what's really crazy is they like McDonald's has spent, like any fast food joint, any place that is, a chain, they spend millions and millions and millions of dollars researching and deciding how they want their French fries to be made up, right? They like McDonald's alone spent millions and millions of dollars to um research and do like surveys of people and what they like to feel when it comes to a French fry. And what makes McDonald's French fries so good is that they are crispy on the outside, they're soft on the inside, and they basically like dissolve in your mouth when you eat them. And so that is like McDonald's way of trying to trick you into thinking it's like a positive experience, right? Because initially it's a positive experience because the mouthfeel is so good. It's so delicious, it's salty, it dissolves in your mouth, and people believe that it's good because it tastes good, right? But afterwards, you eat a large fry, you're gonna slow down, you're gonna feel terrible. like you can automatically feel the shift of energy into a more sluggish self. And it's so true. Like once you start to realize and actually notice these things and be aware as to what how you feel after eating a specific thing, that's when you start to realize and start to become more aware of these things. Um, yeah, spiritual baths. I love Epsom salts. Okay. I never used the Himalayan salt before. I have Epsom salts that I use, and I've wanted to get like one of those bath balls, the foam balls, or the what are they called? I don't know, but I remember like my ex loved love those things. And I never or a bath bomb. Is that what it is? I forget, but it's bath bombs. Yeah, yeah. I've never used one, but I hear they're really good for that cleansing of the body. Let's see. Okay, drink some water before and after. That's good to know too. Okay, yeah. Another inexpensive thing to do. Yeah, and that's kind of what my goal is here is to just show you guys easier, cheaper ways to raise your vibration. Um Other things are, obviously meditation daily. Um uh and what was crazy, like Kevin Trudeau said this, that if you walk outside for an hour a day and just look far in the distance, it's proven to have the same um, chemical alteration to your brain as antidepressants. So antidepressants um, rewire your brain chemistry so you can feel happier, right? But it's proven that walking outside and just looking in the distance for an hour, sun beating down on you, it doesn't even matter if it's sunny, you're still getting UV rays just by being outside, even if it's cloudy. And so it raises your vibration simply doing that. Like if you are on antidepressant medication, I would suggest doing stuff like this, like convening with nature instead of those medications. Like I was on Wellbutrin for a time, and it was horrible. I mean, it was great for a little bit, but then it was just like, it just didn't feel natural. And so I felt like it wasn't doing everything that I needed it to do. And so I switched to this, and it really helps. It really does. Um, yeah, we want to limit to no nicotine, no drugs. I smoke weed. I think that's a really good thing for me. Keeps me calm. Find a vice that isn't going to hurt you. Um, but I'm not really going to tell you yes or no for that. That's up to you to decide. Um, but everything in moderation, right? If we overdo anything, it's going to hurt us. And so making sure that we are watching our how much of one thing that we're consuming, whether it's chips, whether it's beer, whether it's TV, anything. Everything needs to be in moderation, except for like reading. You can read all the time, um, and you'd be fine. But yeah, most things need moderation. Um, and I vibrate the highest when I limit stuff like this. Um, Yeah, I've been trying. I'll take one day out of the week and just turn my phone off for the whole day, and that I mentioned that on a call a few weeks ago, and that just it made me become more aware as to how many times I'm picking up my phone for no reason, just picking it up just to open Instagram for a second to realize like I didn't want to open Instagram. Why am I doing this, right? And so turning your phone off or just letting your phone die is something that really allowed me to become more aware and more conscious of how many times I'm picking my phone up. Um, Other things, let's see. Yeah, yeah, I vibrate the highest when I limit, drugs, alcohol, all that stuff. Um, or just no drugs is better. And that includes like aspirin. Aspirin is low vibrational. Any over the counter medication is low vibrational. cold medicines, um, all of them, like literally all of them. If they're not vitamins, if they're not if they're not things that are, supplementing nutrients for you, if they're just, they're numbing pain, or they're, like, just everything should be natural. If it's in a pill, like, it's probably not natural. Okay. And just be aware of that as you're deciding whether or not you want to, take aspirin for a headache, or just drink water and take a nap, right? Like, that's a much better option than taking the pills to help your headache. Um, Cut out all the negative people in your life. People who lack focus and goals, people who bring you pain or stress, people who use you and do nothing for you. Um, and that includes family. Like, sometimes you just need to be by yourself. Like, I find that solitude, like, I vibrate so much higher when it's just me and River, as opposed to, like, spending any time with anybody else. I have a couple people that are always they're always the people that like, anytime I hang out with them, they bring me up. They pull me up. And those are the people that you want to spend your time with. We should be making sure we're not spending 3 minutes with people we should be spending 3 hours with, and vice versa, right? We got to make sure that we're doing the things that make us feel good. And that includes hanging out with the people that make us feel good. And if that means losing relationships, if that means people are going to get mad at you for neglecting them or not hanging out with them, if they're just friends, like, if they're not family, you don't have to hang out with anybody. Like, know that. Like, like, your vibration, your focus, your energy is not worth sacrificing for a friend that, is only bringing you down. Okay. And that's a brutally honest way of putting it. But I had to cut out. So I had to quit. I had to quit my last job because it was just like, I tried so many times. Like, I was working with this one guy, and he's just always negative. And I realized after like a year of working with him that, like, my strategies of pulling myself out of negativity, were he was starting to apply them. Like, it was so funny. Like, he'd be like, "I'm so tired." Like, no, no, I'm not tired. I feel great. I'm blessed. I'm grateful. And it was so great to see, because he was like the most negative person, and he was trying, right? But it just wasn't enough. Like, yes, he was putting effort in, but I just couldn't deal with it anymore. Like, we get in, and it's just automatic negativity, and everybody has people like that in their lives. But cutting them out is really, really important. Um, I keep saying, I got to stop that. That's one of my bad habits for public speaking. But I did it again. Another thing is spring water. Making sure that we're not drinking tap water. Because tap water has fluoride, it has chlorine, it's got heavy metals. Even purified water and filtered water, all of that still has, it still's got chlorine, it's still got fluoride, and fluoride calcifies your pineal gland, and calcifying pineal glands closes up your third eye. And so that is really, really important. Not something that I knew for a long time. And I knew, once I knew it, I still didn't really apply it. But making sure that you're drinking mainly spring water is really helpful, or alkaline water. Sometimes I'll drink spring water with lemon juice in it. Like, I'll squeeze a little lemon in there, something like that. Alkaline water it's good and bad. I hear good things about it. I hear bad things about it. Sometimes people are talking about kidney problems, or I don't even know. But all I know about alkaline is that cancer cannot survive in an alkaline environment. And that's why things like, what is it? Like, things like, sauces that are on the shelf, they have citric acid in them, because citric acid limits the bacteria growth in the sauce. And so when you need things that are, that need to be preserved on shelves for years and years and years, using things like citric acid allows that longevity to keep that produce, or that jar of sauce uh, healthy, or edible for a longer period of time. And so the same thing is applied for your body. Your body's a vessel. Think of your body like the jar of sauce, and the citric acid is the lemon water that you're putting in your body that is keeping your body from developing bad bacteria and bad disease and cancer and all these things. So that's the best analogy that I can think of when it comes to alkaline water, and that's why I believe alkaline water is great. But it's expensive. So I get spring water. I get like, we have Poland Spring, or some spring deliver, 5-gallon jugs every month. So I'm not buying plastic bottles. I'm not ruining the environment that way, because that's yes, like a gallon bottle of water is high vibrational, but it's unconscious as to the negative effect you're putting out into the universe simply by using that piece of plastic. And that's something that people don't really realize, is that yes, drinking things like spring water is high vibrational, but it's a low vibrational act because you're actually harming the environment around you by drinking it. So yes, it's helping you, but it's harming the environment around you. So finding options, finding solutions to that are going to be like getting spring water delivered, or finding an alternative where you're not going to be harming the environment while you're trying to work on yourself. Um, you know, c- c- uh, Everything that you're putting on your body, like body washes and shampoos, should all be paraben, dye, sulfate free. Um, uh, all of those are so toxic for your body. Um, Something that I need to get myself is a shower filter, because that's, it doesn't even matter if you're not drinking the water when you're showering, it's getting into your skin, it's getting into your pores. So all that toxicity that's in the water source is getting into your body as well. And this is not, none of this stuff is things that should stress you out. When I first started listening to Your Wish Is Your Command over and over and over again, I started to learn all of these things. I started to stress, like if I couldn't get spring water in a day and I had to drink filtered water, I would stress about it. If I couldn't find organic milk and I had to buy regular milk, I would stress about it, right? And I would beat myself down when I wasn't doing everything right. Okay, so don't let yourself do that. It lowered my vibration. I was trying to do high vibrational things, but I was stressing about the fact that I wasn't doing everything, and then I ended up being low vibrational. So, do what you can. Don't try to add all of this stuff at once. Add a couple things, and then if it feels like it works, keep doing it. If it doesn't, try something else, or just try more things. And pick and choose what works for you, but don't feel like you need to do all of it, because that's kind of what my mindset was. Like, I felt like I had to do everything, and it ended up hurting me. So don't do that to yourself. Cold showers every day is really good. I've been kind of, when it's cold outside, I don't do cold showers. Like, I just don't. Unless I go for a run in the morning, like all bundled up, and then I'll take a cold shower because I'm hot, right? But as soon as it starts to warm up again, I'll start doing cold showers. Honestly, if you wake up, go for a run, and take a cold shower, it's gonna wake you up more than a cup of coffee. Guaranteed. Any caffeine, it'll wake you up so much more. So it's really, really good to do that stuff. Do something you love every day. Treat yourself, reward yourself. If you get your whole routine done, do something that you love. Okay. Like, if I get my whole day routine done, like I just started watching Game of Thrones. I tried it and I hated it, and then I tried it and then I hated it, and then waited like 10 years, and now I freaking love it so much. So I reward myself with an episode, here or there, for when I get everything done. Find a creative hobby, things like making art, painting. I saw Ty's been painting, and I'm sure that's been helping with her high vibrational feelings. I do ceramics. I haven't been in a long time, and I'm getting to the point where I'm itching for it. I really want to get back in the studio, but what's really good about finding creative hobby is that it allows you to enter in the state of no mind, right? So when you're painting or when you're making ceramic ware, you're so focused on the here and now, on every brush stroke, on every positioning of your hand, how much water is going to be on the pot, whether I need it stiff, whether I need it dry. I need to center it. I need to feel this thing and be fully centered in order for the piece to become centered. And so it allows me to enter a space of no mind where I'm not thinking, I'm just feeling and I'm just doing. And it's so like it's amazing. It's what Gogo was talking about, like immersive meditation. When you're literally just so focused in on the task at hand that you forget about everything else. You're not overthinking about what happened yesterday or what could happen tomorrow. You're focused on the here and now. So art is really, really helpful for that. Focus on the feeling rather than thinking. We should be feeling more than thinking all day long, because thinking is the ego kind of trying to slip in and control you. But if you feel yourself, whether it feels right or feels wrong, you're going to get to a point where you're going to be a lot more centered, a lot happier, simply because you're listening to your feeling as opposed to listening to your mind, which is trying to play tricks on you all day long. So focus on the things that make you feel good, in the end, not in the moment. That's like what I was talking about with the French fries, right? Like you can eat a French fry and it's going to be friggin' delicious, but you're not going to feel very good about it afterwards. You eat an apple and it's going to be friggin' delicious and you're going to be happy about it afterwards. So make sure you're focusing on long-term happiness and not short-term happiness. And, let's see, what else do I have? Yeah, reward yourself, apply the atomic habit of cue, trigger, response, reward. And yeah, I think that's mostly what I have for today. And I think that's good. A lot of good things. These I've tried all of them. They've all worked for me. And just pick some for you. It's really helpful. If you guys have any questions, if you need help, feel free to hit me up. This is my Instagram at Pat Hoban Ceramics. It's just at Pat Hoban Ceramics, no spaces. I guess it's because it's my name. It's showing up as at myself. But yes, it's at Pat Hoban Ceramics. If you guys have any questions, if you need me to repeat any of this stuff to you later, I'm happy to. The other thing is fluoride free toothpaste is important too. So I use Tom's toothpaste. It's a company in Maine, really, really good company. I'm sure most of you have heard of it. But that's another thing that you can just switch over. When you run out of toothpaste, just buy a fluoride-free toothpaste and you're good. All right. So thank you guys. Focus on the high vibration. Focus on what makes you feel good. Okay. Put this work in because you will feel so much better. So much better. All right. So thank you guys for joining me today. Happy St. Patty's Day. Have an Irish car bomb for me today. And say a prayer for my sister's doggy, because I think they're putting her down right now, unfortunately. But prayers up for her, and prayers up for all you. You guys have a great day. Thank you.